Dockhouse Rugby Show is proudly brought to you by Concordia Clinic Liverpool, combining a wealth of experience and a passion for sport, health and well-being. Concordia Clinic Liverpool, helping you feel better and stay better. Thanks for joining us on the Dockhouse Rugby Show. Myself and Dave are joined this week by a lady who started her career out at Thatterheath Girls, went on to play at Open Age there at Thatterheath as well, represented her country and the England students. But now you'll find her at home as prop forward for St Helens Women's Rugby League Club at the Totally Wicked Stadium. This week's guest is Pip Birchall.
Hi.
Welcome, Pip.
Thanks for having me on.
Oh, thanks for coming on. A bit of a bruising week for you this week.
Yeah.
Pip.
How's the body holding up?
It's all right. I've actually bust my lip. But yeah, it's all part of parcel of playing rugby league and playing something that you love, isn't it? So that's why we do it. It
is indeed. So you've just won the League Leaders Shield, which is a great sort of, though the season hasn't finished yet, we've still got the grand finals to go, but it's been a really, really good season for the Saints ladies, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been a really good season, but it's been a tough season. I think with COVID and stuff, we've actually knuckled down, and we've always worked hard and trained hard, but we've never within COVID we've had stop start, and we just never got the run that we actually wanted. We had maybe 3 games, then we had a break, and then they decided to stop. We had the the Challenge Cup, played in the Challenge Cup, and then got to the final against York, which was an unreal day. That'll be something that I never forget that day.
I was dancing around the lounge screaming at the TV.
Yeah. I think it was not just for us, but for rugby league women as a whole. It was just a great occasion. And I feel like the children who were watching it on the TV, obviously because it was the first on BBC Two, it was live. There was a lot of people who watched it who wouldn't normally watch it. I mean, I work in a school away from rugby, and the amount of kids that came up to me and they were like, "I seen you on TV," and I was like, yeah, like, and now I think 3 or 4 children have now gone down to Thatterheath and played because they've seen it on TV, and fantastic. I don't think people realise how much of an impact that not only ourselves but rugby league can have on them. Because I've met the majority of my best friends through rugby league and stuff, and it's just a great place to be and a great place to go to away from work and home. So,
and like you say, it's a great community. You get friends for life. Myself and Dave got friends up and down the country, in other countries, from this great sport that we all know and love.
Yeah.
So, tell us, being female playing rugby league, where did your rugby league journey start? How did you get into it, or what was your first memory of rugby league?
So basically, from my family, we're all big Saints supporters, and my dad's a massive Saints fan. And
big up here.
Yeah. And then I just said to my dad, I said, I want to go and watch a rugby game. Like, I think because I was sick of being at home, and I was just like, can you take me to a rugby game? And after Mivering, he said, yeah, come on. And I think it was Hull FC at home. At Knowsley Road it was.
At the Mecca.
Yeah, yeah. And I think from there I just said to my dad, I was like, Dad, I want to go and play. Can I go and do that? And I actually went on Google. I was like, Dad, tomorrow there's a trial day and it's at Thatterheath and it's a fun day. And come on, can we go? And he said, yeah, come on. And I think there was 7 of us that actually turned up, and we were in trainers and we weren't in rugby gear. And honestly, like, Jeff Alford was the coach at the time, and my dad was like, I don't think it's going to turn into a big thing, but I'll take you. And then ever since then, I don't think I've ever had a Sunday or a Saturday off, because for about 10 years I've either been training or playing and stuff, or it's completely changed my life, rugby league. It's just an unreal sport to play, and I couldn't imagine myself in any other sport, because the camaraderie, and when you lose, you feel like you've won because you still have a good time and stuff. And it's just all credit to obviously Thatterheath, because that's obviously where my career started, and now I'm at the top level playing for Saints, and we're on for doing the treble. So it's just a long journey that's happened, which is, feel like you're in a dream, in fact, like,
so
just unreal.
When you went down there and there were just 7, did those 7 continue playing for a while, or did some drift away?
I think so. We obviously started at under 12s. We was 11 at the time, And literally we turned up and then went back the following week, and there were 6 of us, and then they said, right, you're playing at Knowsley Road that was on the Saturday, and on the Sunday you're playing at Knowsley Road at half time. And I was like, Dad, we're playing. And literally picked up these pair of shorts, I think they were like one of the men's, and I'll never forget it. And I was playing, and I must have spent half the time pulling up my shorts because I thought, I'm in the crowd of everywhere. I haven't got my drawstring or anything. I'm just pulling up my pants and stuff. And
you did braces.
Yeah, yeah. And I was just like, and then obviously playing from at Knowsley Road to playing at the Totally Wicked, it's like how like
you pinch yourself.
Yeah, it shows how like women's rugby and women's sport has actually evolved, and people actually do take it serious now. And it's just, I love it, absolutely love it. But it's credit to obviously my mum and dad taking me down to Fataweef and stuff, and taking me everywhere over the country, Cumbria, Leeds, everywhere. And they take up the majority of the time for me to allow me to get where I am now. So it's credit to them, really. Yeah, they do. Yeah, and that's how people get there, isn't it? Like, obviously, when you're 12, obviously you can't drive. So if your parents aren't bought into it, then you can't really go far, can you? I remember Jenny Wellesby saying to me, she actually played in a boys' team, and her dad had to take her down to, I can't remember the team, but he had to take her down to the boys' team every single week. It must have been an hour, 2 hours drive. Wow. But because her dad was so committed to her playing and stuff, then she actually then went and represented like England and stuff. But yeah, it's on the rise now, rugby league for women, and you do pinch yourself because you're like, there was a thing that over 100 years ago, that was when the first women's rugby league game was played. And you kind of like, I'm at the peak of it now. Like, we're at the peak, and this is where it's going. And I mean, where's it going to go? It can go on for ages now.
Well, it's quite exciting to think about where it may end up, might it? Or we're convinced it's going to be successful because of the way it's grown so far. So it's an exciting time to be involved. But I'm really interested in hearing about that journey at Fataweef. What happened after those early games and playing at Knowsley Road? How did that grow then through those age groups?
So obviously I started at under 12s, and then we had like mini tournaments. So we'd go to Chorley, Widnes, Cumbria, Barrow, and we'd go all around them places. And it'd get to the point where you'd go to play, but you'd only turn up with maybe 8 players. But then Chorley might maybe have 3 players, so you could just join teams and stuff. And so that was when I was at under 12s, and then I represented Lancashire then at under 12s. That was a really, really good, proud moment, because that was my first representative that I had at under 12s. And then moved up to under 14s. And that was when I kind of thought, I'm here at the right time now, because we was getting stuff that you possibly wouldn't normally. So the small things like, here's a free polo shirt, here's your match day stuff, and moved on from 14s to 16s. And then that's when the Warrington ladies then became Fataweef Open Age, when I was at under 14. So the likes of Emily Rudge, Jodie Cunningham, Faye Gaskin, they all came over to Fataweef, so they all came together. So when I was under 16, I was like, well, there's Emily Rudge over there, and there's Jodie Cunningham over there. And that was when I was kind of like, yeah, I want to do this. Like, I want to stay involved. And we used to have a couple of training sessions with them, and they were all really good with us. And then I represented Lancashire again at under 16s. And the support from the women at Fataweef, they came down and dead friendly, and I was just like, Dad, I want to stay this, I want to do this. And then from 16, you've not really got anywhere to go then. And I think that's where rugby league women's needs to bridge that gap, really.
There's a void there, is there?
Yeah, because I felt I was 16, I couldn't go anywhere. So I either had to stop, or I could go up to open age.
Which is a big leap at 16.
Which is women, and you're playing against fully grown women.
Yeah.
And I remember my first game for open age was Bradford at home, and I put my skull cap on. I'd never wore a skull cap before, but I was like, I'll put my skull cap on and playing against like fully grown women and stuff. And I was just like, I think that is where it needs to be bridged, and I think now Saints have just created an under-19 team, so that'll hopefully bring them under 18s, that brings them into a barrier then of not going straight into it, because I know when I was 16 I said to Mum, I'm going playing against the women here, and she was like, fully grown women? And I was like, yeah. I think that's where parents, if they're not really clued up in the nicest way, they'll be like, I'm not having my daughter playing against fully grown women. But yeah, I had to just take that leap, and I had to go straight into open age, and played my first game at home at Fatterweath against Bradford. And then the week after, it was the semi-final, and they were like, oh yeah, like, you're going to be on the bench. And I was like, oh right, okay, like, this is a big thing now. And then that was when I think Thatterweath won the grand final. It was at Widnes, so they played against Bradford Thunderbirds at the time. And even just like sat there in the crowd, I was just like, I want to be part of that. And I like Thatterweath have done so much for not only me as a person, but the women's game. And I can't thank Fatterweath enough, because obviously that's where my journey started. But yeah, if I wouldn't have gone to Fatterweath and gone to them days where there was only 7 of us, then I won't be where I am now.
Was Gary Scott there?
Yeah, Gary Scott, yeah. So Darcy, who's his daughter, she was 2 years below me. So as I was in 14s, she was in under 12s. And it was pretty funny, to be fair, because one of the coaches who at the time, Dave Scott, his name was, and I was a hooker at the time, and he was like, will you just do some work with like Darcy and like just do like some technical stuff with her, like passing wise? And I was like, yeah, that's fine. And now me and Darcy are actually playing in the same team, and when we do stuff at training, and we have we do like all this passing at the start, and Deck turns around and goes, right, do 9 passing. Darcy always goes, you told me how to pass a ball. And I'm like, people remember, don't they? Like, people, and I'm like, Darcy, like, I'm no longer a 9, but obviously at the time I had the knowledge, so it was pretty good, to be fair, playing with Darcy and starting at Fatterweath with her, to be fair.
It's funny what you remember, really, those little memory links from years ago that meant so much to you.
Yeah.
And you might not realise what it means at the time, but years later, when someone brings it back up, you think, wow, that 5 minutes I spent there, just spending some time with them, really made an impact on them. It's a lesson for all of us, I guess.
Yeah. Coming back to Jenny Wellesby, though, I remember she presented me at under 12s. I got Player of the Year there, and she presented me with my trophy. And she whispered, and she went, you'll be like with the big girls one day, and just keep working hard, you'll be fine, you'll be with us. And I said to her a couple of weeks ago, I said, Jenny, do you remember that conversation? She's like, I do actually. And I was just like, the little, but I use that now for myself. So whatever I say to like young girls when they come to me asking, oh, can I have your photo, can I do this, can I do that, I'm like, yeah. And I'll always say a little piece, because I just think if I can remember that, little girls will remember that. And if it just inspires maybe 1 out of 5 girls to say, yeah, I want to get to that level and I want to lift the treble or a trophy at Saints, then I've done my job, haven't I? So that's how I got into it, and I just hope that we're inspiring other girls to do that too.
I'm sure you are, absolutely.
Definitely.
So what was it like then? Because obviously you've got these role models in the sport for yourself, and now you're playing with these, like you said, when the Warrington ladies came over, and Emily and Jodie and all them. How did you just take it in your stride? Is it one of the things where you think, or did you have a little like, I'm going to pinch myself moment? Or
yeah, I think the first training session that I had at Thatterweath with the England, they were England girls still at the time, and I was like, I got home and I said to my dad, I was like, Dad, I've just been training with like Jodie Cunningham and Emily Rudge, and they were just like, really? And even to them it was a big thing. And then obviously when at Saints now, I'm still like, I looked around the changing room yesterday before we went out, and I was like, Amy Harcastle, one of the top 10 players who she was in the World 13, and I was like, I cannot believe I'm actually sharing a changing room with them. And I think they still realise, but all the time I'm like, I'm actually playing with some of the best players in the country, if not the world. Like, you've got Emily Rudge, who's the England captain, and I'm learning off them every day. and at every training session there might be some stuff that they do that I think, oh, I can put that into my game. Or I do speak to Amy Hardcastle, and she always says, oh, if you need anything, come and speak to me. But obviously Rudgie's like that, Jodie's like that, and although they are kind of the big dogs, like, and they're always dead down to earth with you. They'll always just say, if you need anything, come over, we'll help you out. And I think that's just a reassurance that maybe other people but myself needs. Maybe I won't be scared to approach Jodie and be like, Jodie, I don't get this, can you run through it with me? And they're all just a helping hand, and at the end of the day they're your best mates. And although you are rugby teammates, like, you can go away and you can be the best friend and stuff. Like,
but I think that echoes on the pitch as well, especially we're seeing that this season with the Saints team. I mean, we spoke early in the season, Dave, about the Women's League, and we had a conversation looking at it, and you rightly so said there may be one or two blowout scores, but for the greater good of the game, for the betterment of the sport, and there has been, but Saints have been the trailblazers on the top end of some of them scores, haven't they? I mean, you've had some fantastic wins coming through, but like I said, that camaraderie that you've got, that you speak about, that is just being friendly, being open. Yeah. When it comes down to, kick-off time and it's 80 minutes of hard graft, that's where that pays dividends. Yeah. And it it's plain to see. So, yeah, that them little moments that are a throwaway at that time are pivotal in sport.
Well, it proves that they're willing to share their experience and their knowledge with others, and that, as you say, creates a great culture within the club. It's infectious. Other people then want to do the same, and as you say, they want to do the same then on the pitch. And we can see it when we watch you play. It really does shine through. But you touched on another point, Keith, about some of the blowout scores. How do you find that's been accepted this year within the sport? Do you think it will get closer over time?
Yeah, I think it is. I think obviously you've got Huddersfield who've just come up. They are quite a young side, but I mean, we played them and they have some very good players, and you can tell that some of them young players are going to be the next superstars. And I think it's just development. And although there are people who say, oh, well, Saints are just winning everything, and it's not fair on the other teams because they're getting beat 60-70-0, and it is hard, but we've worked for that. Do you know what I'm like? That's not been gifted to us. We've worked really hard for that, and I think COVID didn't help anybody.
Goddamn COVID.
Yeah, COVID didn't help anybody, and we've worked harder than possibly any other team, I believe.
So you utilised that time.
Yeah, and I've said it before, and although for some reasons COVID wasn't good, and obviously it was possibly like the worst time of people's lives and stuff, but from a sport perspective and from our own perspective, it was our time to then build on that and say, right, we are going to be the fittest team in Super League, and we are going to build on this. And like me and a couple of girls, we was out nearly every night doing extras and running and making sure that we could be the fittest. And I do believe we are the fittest team in Super League, and that's obviously getting paid off on the pitch. But yeah, it is hard. It is hard when you come away and think, yeah, we've just beat them 60-70-0. I think we beat Bradford first game of the season 60-odd 0.
Yeah, I think so, yes.
Yeah, and it was a pretty big game.
I think it was 68-0.
Yeah, and I mean, looking on yesterday when we beat Wigan 52-0, that's not a true reflection of the game, because in some parts it was tough. We had a 15-minute period where we were stuck in a rut, and we were saying, right, we're going to have to go back to basics, because it was raining. We dropped a few balls, and like we then came out in the second half. We changed a couple of things and stuff, but they're not true reflections, because although we do win by big scores, them teams are tough. We're not powering our way through them. We're getting made to work to do that. So it's not them big scores are not true reflections of games.
I think you're right. I think sometimes you can see a big score and think it was easy, and it was anything but. I mean, when you're being tackled hard, it hurts just as much whether you've run in 50 points or not. So you still come off tired and hurt, and you've had to work for that. So you work very hard to be the fittest and the fastest you could be when you returned after COVID. And that's setting a standard then of training for those other clubs to follow. So you spoke about some of these teams having young players and can be the top players in the future. But you've set the example against the training regime. Hopefully they will follow. Do you get the sense from the other clubs that they're following in the footsteps of the top clubs like St Helens in the way they're approaching the games and the training? Yeah,
100%. And obviously you've got Leeds as well, and Leeds are top side.
With the dominant force for quite a while,
And I feel like the likes of Huddersfield and Wakefield, and they'll grow into it, and they are young sides, and hopefully as long as they can stick as a big group, and they get that camaraderie and they get the coaching that they need and stuff, then hopefully they can come up and be the top contenders. But I just feel they will get there, and hope. So for example, York, some of the Cass girls have gone to York for whatever reason, but now Castleford are kind of like, well, our big names have gone, so that young group of girls, they have still got the likes of Rhiannon Marshall and Georgia Roach and Tara Stanley in there who have stayed. So that group have now got to regroup and come together even tighter than what they were before. But yeah, I mean,
they'll be the nucleus then of the new side.
Yeah. And I think that's the same with us. I mean, that main group of players came from Warrington Ladies, and then they've gone to Fassawheath, and then they've come up to Saints, and we've played with each other for years, and I think now it's paying off, and we see how much each other wants it.
This hasn't just happened overnight.
It's not happened overnight. It's a process. I mean, first year of Super League, we got beat in 2 semi-finals, and there could have easily have been players who thought, no, I'm done, can't do this, and I'm not getting knocked out of 2 semi-finals. But we regrouped, and throughout COVID we worked really hard. We've come into this season, we've set our goals, set our standards, knew what we wanted of each other, and it's paying dividends at the moment. Hopefully we'll get the 3 out of 3. But yeah, it's probably one of the top things. But we look at the Saints men too, so we look at the Saints men and think, well, they've done back-to-back champions, so can we go and do the treble? The men haven't done the treble, so can we go one better than them?
So you've got something to...
So we've got one better than them.
So you're going to be the big dogs at the
team. And Christian Wolf came and watched yesterday, which was pretty big too, and Christian's come and watched a few of our training sessions, and it was funny because Mike Rush said yesterday, he was like, so the girls have got one over you already because you've not brought me the league leaders. And it's just little things like that, and obviously he's saying it on the slide, but that means loads to us because we think, we've done one better than the men here. We've actually won the league leaders, and we could go and do the treble hopefully in 2 weeks'
Holding
time.
your own.
Well, it can help drive you, can't it? Those little nuances and those little stories in the background, getting one over on the men's team, that can help drive you as a team, can't it, to try and better them.
And I think it's a little bit of history as well for us, because we can go and win the treble and it's history for the game. I mean, Leeds did the double first year of the Women's Super League. Castleford won the league leaders that time, and I think at the moment we can create history by going doing all 3, and it just puts us on the map then, doesn't it, of Saints. This is the Saints women's team, and this is what they did and when they did it. And
you certainly
folklore, isn't it?
Yeah.
Definitely. Well, you're certainly capable, but you're under a bit of pressure now, aren't you? Because you know you've got a target to aim for.
Yeah.
But that can help sometimes.
Well, we thrive under pressure. Like we love pressure, and that is what we build ourselves on. But we never take anything for granted. We work hard for it. Like I said before, we don't ever go into a game thinking, no, we've got these. Like, we don't need to prepare anything. We prepare as 100% and as hard as we can every training session, and prepare as much as we can for a game. Yesterday when youth we won, we get the league leaders shield, so we had to treat that as if it was another final. We just didn't go on, and it was the end of the season. Do you know what I mean? And this week's a huge week in training for us because we know Castleford aren't going to be an easy team to turn over.
Yeah.
I mean, we played them last week, and we know their strengths, know their weaknesses, but they know our strengths and weaknesses. Do you know what I mean? And we've just got to knuckle down in training, know what we've got to do, know we can do it. And yeah, hopefully we'll be able to beat them and then go on to the grand final.
Yeah, hopefully so. I mean, I remember Alex Wormsley saying to me about the Challenge Cup final, and I said, you know, what was the mentality, what was the approach? And he said, we didn't get lost in the occasion because we've done that before. He said, and you know, they've been guilty of it and they come unstuck because of it. The walk out at Wembley and everything. He said, I didn't look up into the crowd and look for where the family was and everything till after the hooter had gone. Yeah. And then it sunk in what we'd done. It was a game of rugby. It was 80 minutes of my life, and I had a job to do.
Yeah, and I think that's the way we approach the Challenge Cup final, to be fair. It's just another game. The only difference is there's a trophy, and we literally, as soon as we got off the coach, there was cameras on us straight away. Like, someone came on and was like, right, there's cameras as soon as you get off the coach. And we just we didn't take that too much. We were just kind of like, do your normal routine, do everything exactly the same, prepare as you normally would. And we was just in a different surrounding. That was the only difference. Yeah. I remember Shani Crowell turned around in the change room. She said, just think of it as we're playing at Cowley. And that's our training ground. Just think of it, we're at Cowley, we've got a few supporters watching us, we'll go out and do what we've got to do. And it was we just treated it like any other occasion, and I think that's why we came out on top, because we didn't change anything. If we wanted to, we could have said, right, we're going to do a team breakfast, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, and everyone prepared as they normally would and did as we normally would, and that's how we come away with the win.
Brilliant. So 2 things on that. I've got 2 questions for you. One, your preparation for a game day, is there a routine you've got? Are you any superstitions? I used to always put my left sock on firstly. That was one of my things. But like, I know Big Al has a playlist. He's got like 6 or 7 songs on there in an order that he plays, and when he gets to the last one, that's when he's walking out. He's got it all timed and stuff. Is there anything that you do?
Not necessarily. Well, I don't know. It might be, but I've always got to wear skins. Right. Always, training, game, I've got to wear skins. So it could be 30 degrees, but I've got to wear my short skins. Right. And I've never it does sound disgusting. They do get washed, but I've never changed them skins. Yeah. And it's my top short sleeve skins, and they've got rips in, like, under the arms, everything where they've been pulled. But I can't bring myself to change it, because I just feel like if I change it, what's going to happen? Do you know what I mean? And I'm just like, am I going to have a really bad game? Am I going to get an injury? And I try and find the same ones online, but they don't do them anymore. And I got them when I was under 14s, and I've had the same skin since I was under 14s, and it never changed.
What you might have to do, there was a cricketer called Jack Russell. Do you remember this story? And he used to have a hat that he wore. Yeah. And he wore the same hat for years, and it was really old, tired, frayed. And the England cricket team said at the time, what we want, we're professional now, we want to look the part, we need to approach it well. Jack, you need to get rid of that hat and put one of these brand new spanking England ones with a new badge on. And he refused. Yeah. So the solution they came up with is they sold the old hat inside a new hat. Oh. So there you go. So he was still wearing his lucky hat, but on the outside it looked like a brand new one. So maybe you need to get some new skins and sew your old skins inside them.
I know. But then playing in 30-degree heat in double skins.
I know. Yeah.
It's a solution.
But I do you know what? Ever since that Nosey Road game where I had to keep on pulling up my shorts, that's when the skin thing. So like me undershorts, I can't play without undershorts because.
Are you self-conscious of it now? It's on your mind.
Yeah, I'm just like, well, what happens if my drawstring comes undone? And like, do you know what I mean? I'm just like, I've got to wear my skins now. That's it. But no, I don't really have any superstitions or anything. I just do as I do.
So game day, you just get up, you know, thing.
Yeah, game day, get up, pack my bag, go for a little walk, and then just go straight to straight to wherever we're going. Yeah. I mean, I'll always have my music blasting in my car. I had a bit of Tina Turner on yesterday.
Bit of Tina, get it.
Yeah, rocked up, and the stewards was like, turn that down. I was like, it is what it is, isn't it? But yeah, I don't really have anything like that.
So what other music are you into?
I don't really have anything like that. I just do as I do. Like, do you know what I mean? I'm just like, I've got to work, got to wear my skins now. That's it. But no, don't really have anything like that.
What other music are you into?
I do love Tina Turner. Do love her.
She's simply the best.
She is.
So I
Yeah,
did that.
that's what I had. That's what I had.
Nice.
Tina Turner on coming into the Totally Wicked Stadium. I was like,
Do you ever? You'll be you're only 21. You'll be too young to remember this, but the NRL did an advert with Tina Turner, and it was all like Benny Elias and all them running up the sea in shorts with Tina Turner giving it what for. I think that was simply the best.
I think it was. You'll have to Google that.
I will. I'll Google it when I
It's
go
funny.
home.
Now when you look back, proper retro.
Yeah.
Running up the sea. In fact, it's camp as hell, really, when you look back.
Well, the short shorts that we used to have in the 80s and 90s. Have you seen the shorts we all wore?
Yeah, shorts.
Yeah, I've still got a pair.
They were short shorts.
I put mine on a couple weeks ago, and Lindsay's like, what are you doing with them?
And
Get them off.
And we didn't have skins, did we? We didn't have skins
No
then.
skins.
They weren't
We had massive
invented.
pads, but shorts. So, and Challenge Cup, an absolutely outstanding and phenomenal game.
Yeah.
A great experience for you.
Yeah.
But also as well, I mean, I want you to talk me through the game, but also want you to talk me about the open top bus as well.
Oh, yeah. It was pretty weird, to be fair, the Challenge Cup, because semi-final against Leeds, I was on the bench, but I never got on. And I was like, right, okay, like, see what happens. And then I was on the bench for the final too, and I said to Mum and Dad, I don't think I'm going to get on here. My mum was like, do you want me to come? I was like, well, if you're busy, like, doesn't matter, go and do what you need to do. If you need to do shopping, go and do that. I said, I don't think I'm going to get on. And anyway, we stood there, and Danny Bush scored a try, and then Faye Gaskin then jumped and obviously broke a leg and stuff. And then I kind of looked up to Deck, and he was like, you ready? And I was like, yeah, I'm ready. And then obviously I went on, and I think in my head I always think when I go on, get that first drive, because I just think once you've got your first drive, once you've made your first tackle, you're into the game, then you've got your feeling for the game. So I just thought, just play as hard as you can, just show that you're not tired, obviously, because then you get targeted and then you've got to make 5 tackles on the run. But yeah, and then I think I came on about 15 minutes into the game, and then it was such a warm day. Obviously I had my skins on and stuff, and I was like, oh, I'm sweating here, like, and I heard, as soon as I ran on, I heard like my mum and dad cheer, and I think that's what I needed. I was like, okay, everyone's here now, and it's on TV, and all these people watching at home, and I think that's what you thrive off, really, like supporters like that. Then we got in for half time, and Deck came up to me and he was like, awesome, keep going, and that's what I need. I need someone to say, keep going, you're doing well. And he was like, keep going, you're staying on, you'll be fine. And I was like, I'll be fine, like in that heat. And we just kept on going, and then didn't change anything, played as if we was playing at Cowley, like Shani said, and we was relentless at the end. Like, obviously Sinead scored, and we was just kind of like, right, okay, regroup, we go again. Nobody dropped the heads or anything, and then Jade came on to me. She was like, are you okay? I was like, no, I'm knackered. And she was like, just keep going, you'll be fine. And I was like, right, okay. And then it got to about 65 minutes, and I got to the point where I was done then. I was like, I'm going to have to say something here. And Jade came on again, and she was like, are you okay? And I didn't say these words, but I was like, no, I am done here. Like, and she said, right, okay, that's fine. And she must have gone off and said to Deck, she's done here, like. But I was happy with it, because I knew I'd given my all for that. Do you know what I mean? Like, I was happy with how I performed, and some like tackles, drives and stuff. And
some immense tackling.
Yeah, I was happy with it, so I went off happy. Do you know what I mean? And came off, and I thought, we've won it here. Like, Paige went on, she scored, and I got the buzz inside me, and I said to Dawn, we've done it here. Like, and then obviously the hooter went, and it just went mental. Everyone went mental, crowd went mental, and we was just like, we've done it, we've actually done it. And like, Jodie pulled us in, she said all the hard work, all the running, all the late nights, and running in the rain and conditioning, and we was just like, we've done it here.
This is why you do it.
This is why we do it. And it is, and at the end of the day, we don't get paid, coaches don't get paid, we're all there for each other, and we do it because we love the sport and stuff. And when you looked round, you thought that this is why I do it. And like, obviously credit to Saints as well, because the amount of support they gave us. We all recovered on the Sunday. We had work on the Monday. And then we got the text saying, if you're in work, you've got to go and isolate. Because we all got... So one of the girls actually got COVID.
That's right, yeah.
So I was outside my school for work, and I got the text, and I was like, oh, I've got to go. And they was like, what do you mean? I was like, I've got to go. We've got to go into isolation now. I've got to go for a PCR test. And it turned out that I think 6 of the girls actually had COVID.
Wow.
So we was all in isolation then, and I think it was a bit one of those where 1 minute you're on a high because you've just won the Challenge Cup, and then the next minute you're like, oh, I'm in isolation now. And I think me personally, I think I watched the Challenge Cup about 5 times whilst in isolation. I was just like, that'll just keep me going and stuff. But
you're allowed, that's fine.
Yeah,
you're allowed. You've won it, you can watch it as many times as you want.
I think my mum and dad watched it, and like, are you watching this again? I was like, yeah, I am. But yeah, it was just one of those, and we then trained for the 10 days over Zoom, and we never stopped. And I think that's something that Dec Hardman, who's the coach, he's drilled into us, and he only wants the best for us. Do you know what I mean? He doesn't say you need to do it because he wants us to do it. He does it for the goodness of us, and he likes seeing us getting the rewards. For example, yesterday, the Challenge Cup, and that's obviously why he does it. He doesn't get paid for coaching us at the end of the day. He loves seeing us getting the rewards. But yeah, and then we got a message saying, on this date you're doing the open top bus, and we was like, the open top bus by ourselves? And he was like, no, you're doing it with the men. And we was like, no, we can't be like. And that day was something that everyone will just remember, and I think the town will remember too, because it was a big day, not only just for women's rugby, not just for St Helens Rugby League, but for St Helens as a town.
It needed it.
It didn't. I think obviously because of COVID and that, and everyone being
goddamn COVID.
Well, I know, and everyone needed something like that, and we started off at McCure Haydock, and we all got there, all the girls. We sat on one end, and then the lads sat on the other end. Obviously, we couldn't mix because of COVID, and they got on the first bus, we got on the second bus, but then the lads actually turned around, they were like, hi, you all right? And we was actually talking and stuff, and the lads are good with us. They come down first year it was, and it was like Kev Nagama, Tommy Makinson, and who I can't remember who else it was, but they did a training session with us on the stadium pitch and stuff. And they actually remembered, so they was like, hello, are you okay, and whatever. And it's like they actually remember you as well as you remembering them. Do you know what I mean? And going around the open top bus, and wherever you went, I don't think you ever went anywhere down a road where there wasn't at least 50, 60, 70 people. And then I remember we was going to the Boar's Head, in Fataweef, and someone went, hey, look at these, and there must have been easily 300-400 people, but then every time you look down, there was about 100-200 little kids, and there was also little girls there, and we was like, we're inspiring the next generation here, and it's just it honestly, it was a day that we'll never forget. And like Saints didn't have to put us on the open top bus with the men; they could have just left us, but they actually turned around and said, no, the women are getting included here.
It's a fantastic achievement, and rightly so. That that is honoured in that way. Yeah,
and I think it's something that Saints obviously thrive themselves on. That they are really good with us. They don't say there's a tick box, we've got a women's team. They actually invest so much to us, and I think that's something that people don't realise. Like when there is a women's Super League team there, not only Saints, but I know Leeds are really good with their women's team and stuff. The club is actually behind them, and they want the best for the women. Yeah. But this year Saints have been phenomenal with us, really good, and letting us train. We're like at Cowley and giving us the facilities we need and whatever. And it's just like one big family. We're not okay. They're the men, they're the women. It's no. In fact, you're all one big club. You're one big family, and in fact, we've all got one big dream, and that's just to win trophies. Do you know what I mean? And that's what
inspirational.
That's what it is, though. And I think I've never really noticed it, and it is Saints as a team and Saints as a club thrive themselves on trophies, and that's why you go to Saints. And that you can't you can't go to Saints thinking I'm not going to win any trophies or I'm not bothered about trophies. That is what Saints is, and it's like I've just said, it's one big family, and one family, one team, one dream. Do you know what I mean?
That reflects well on the club itself, doesn't it? The professionalism of that club, it reflects well all that you're saying. Yeah. And other clubs, I'm sure there's other clubs do it well also.
Oh yeah.
But it's something for other clubs to aspire to help them for the trophies that Saints have been so successful with.
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, yesterday I looked round and like Christian was there watching us, and Mike Rush was there watching us, and you just think Christian's gave up his own time. Do you know what I mean? Like, he didn't have to come and watch us, but he's brought his daughter, and she got a photo with one of the girls with the trophy, and even if that just inspires her to, do you know what I mean? And she's come over, obviously, from Australia and stuff, and where Women's Rugby League's huge over there, but actually she's come to a different country, and it's just as big. Do you know what I mean? And it's huge, and Saints is just possibly, if not, I'm not saying it because I'm biased, but probably like one of the best teams to obviously be for, because you just go there and it's so professional, and the support you get from not only our coaching staff but from the other coaching staff is just unreal. It's amazing.
I was going to ask you about Derek, what's he like as a coach, but I mean, I think you've paid testament to him with the things you've said and what he instills in you as a group, as a team.
Do you know what? He's one of the best coaches I've come across, and that's not only coaching wise. He'll always be honest with you, and he says that he'll always be honest. He'll always tell you where you can improve and how you can improve. So he'll never just say, right, you need to do this, and leave you. He'll say how you can improve. But he's although we've got loads of England players, he's never just set on his England players. Do you know what I mean? He's always included everybody, and he's always drilled into us that we're there for each other. We're not there for ourselves, we're there for each other. And yeah, some of the stuff, like his knowledge about the game, obviously I know he's been with the Saints Academy and stuff, and I mean his fitness is awful, but like
awful.
It's awful at the end but at the end of it you kind of like, that's why we've done it. So like yesterday we was like, that's why we've done it, that's why we've put in all the hard yards. And
that's when you say fitness is awful, you mean it's intensive.
It's intense, but yeah.
I thought he was just like a really unfit bloke.
Oh no, God no.
He's good lad, but his fitness
his fitness is awful. Yeah. But yeah, his fitness, when he says he's doing fitness, we're kind of like,
you're in for it.
Yeah, we are in for it, but he's only doing it for the good of us. Do you know what I mean? He's not doing it because
for the betterment of you players.
Yeah, because he can't be bothered doing a training session. He always does it for the good of us. But yeah, he's an unbelievable coach, and honestly, us as a team wouldn't be where we are without him. Yeah. But yeah, he's top. He really is top.
Fantastic. And then you got to lift the League Leaders Shield in front of a home crowd.
Yeah.
So it wasn't away, it wasn't, in some far random places. What was that like, being in front of the Barmy Army of the Saints?
Oh, it was unreal. I mean, there was obviously people who'd never obviously been before and whatever, and obviously I knew people were coming watching me, and I was just, it prepares you for the game. Do you know what I mean? So we knew there was going to be a big crowd there. We knew we had to perform, and we knew that if we played well, there'd be a prize at the end. And we knew we had to play well, but it was credit to Wigan, because Wigan they did have injuries. They brought young girls in, and Wigan could have just said, "No, we're not playing." At the end of the day, if Wigan wouldn't have played us, we wouldn't have been able to lift the trophy in front of our own fans, and the occasion wouldn't have been the occasion that it was, and it was unreal. And in front of them fans, there was girls who had never been to a rugby match before, and it was just one of those where he was kind of like, not only are we inspiring the next generation, we're actually putting Women's Rugby League on the map. Do you know what I mean? And I mean, my nan came yesterday and she'd never been to a Women's Rugby League game before. I don't really think she knew what was going on, to be fair, but like I spoke to her this morning. I was like, did you enjoy it? She was like, it was physical, wasn't it? And I was like, yeah, Nan, it was. I was like,
it's the way it is.
Yeah, I was like, it's not tag, like it's proper. And
rugby.
yeah, and I just think we're not only inspiring the next generation, but we're actually inspiring older people too. Like at the end of the day, that's what we're there for, and we play it for the fun, but we are inspirational, and I don't think we realise.
Well, you're introducing a lot of people to the sport who wouldn't normally have come and watched it, whether they're young, older, mature. Yeah, the new people coming along, and we're always welcoming new people to the sport. But the young ones are the ones that we really want to target. Well, it's a target if that's the right word.
That
inspire.
It is. It is inspirational, isn't it? And I went into one of my schools the other day, and there was a little reception kid. She went, Miss. I said, yeah, what's up? Like, and I thought, oh, what's this now? And she went, I seen you on the TV. And I went, oh yeah. I said, like, and she was like, I'm going my first rugby session next week. And I was like she'd never played before, and the teacher actually came up to me. She was like, you've actually inspired her. Like, as a team, you've actually inspired her, because she said I took her to down to one of the clubs, and she was like, I'm not playing that. I don't want to play that. But now that she's seen it on TV and where you could get to, and not only that you're her PE, like her PE teacher, but you're also playing rugby at the same time, then she thinks, well, I can go and do it. And she's only in reception, and it shows how much of the younger generation we're actually getting to, and that's part and parcel of playing, isn't it? We thrive off that.
Do you think the game will get to full-time pro for the ladies?
I think it can do. It can do 100%. We just need the numbers are there. We need the sponsorship, and we need backing. That's what it is. And I think if people see that there is a big pathway, i.e. we win the next World Cup in, is it 2022?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's the 2021 World Cup in 2022.
Yeah. So
like the 2020 Tokyo Olympics in 2021.
Yeah. And I think if there's a big roadmap there and people can see it progressing, then I don't see why it can't go full time. And I think if it does go full time, great. But let's get part time first. Let's just say, okay, you're on a part time contract. You're going to get paid to play. You're going to get, what, £50-60? Because that's what rugby union are doing at the moment. And I think if rugby union can do it, why can't we? Yeah. Like, and I think
it's a better game anyway than rugby union.
Yeah, it is. And it's
we'll get slated for that, but it is.
It is, though, and I think we can do it. Like, we can show what we can do, and you can win 3 trophies. You can only win one in rugby union, in women's rugby union. Do you know what I mean? And we can get the backing from the clubs, we can get backing from sponsorship. Let's take it one step at a time, and let's go into like semi-pro, and then we'll go into professional, because it can come. I do believe it can come.
So where do you believe the game will be in 5 years'
time? Hopefully semi-professional. Hopefully we will start getting paid.
So that's the aspiration within sort of 5 years' time. Yeah, that we're looking at a part-time professional sport.
Yeah, if not professional. I mean, the England girls who went out to Papua New Guinea and Australia, was it 2 years ago? Mm-hmm. They got paid.
Yeah, I think they were the first ones.
Yeah,
weren't
they were the first rugby league athletes, female, to get paid. And I just think if they can do it, then why can't you just turn around and say, okay, you've got a squad of 25. That's all you can have. Okay, you can have a reserve side if you want. That is another thing I do believe, that every club needs to have a reserve side. I think it's got to be a squad of 25, and then you can say, okay, this is what you can pay your players, and hopefully that'll then bring more people into it. Do you know what I mean? Like, more girls will think, oh, okay, if I can get something out of it, not only enjoyment, not only a social life, and not only a trophy or enjoyment of playing, I can actually get paid for doing something that I love doing. Do you know what I mean? And I think in 5 years' time, there's got to be something there. The game's got to move on.
It's got to be a bigger draw, because obviously if it is all voluntary at this stage, like it is, and you're not getting paid, other girls maybe enticed to take up a career?
Yeah.
Where they've got chance of promotion and whatever. And
Yeah.
I think it grows the sport, though, in terms of the training. You spoke very highly of the training that you have at St Helens, but for that to grow, what you find when the sport becomes professional, it's not just being paid for it. The whole sport becomes professional with access to better training facilities, gym facilities, 3G training pitches, and there's more people have access to more better quality training facilities. Then grows the standard of the sport. So it's all part of the same thing, really, I guess.
Yeah, it is. It's like a conveyor belt. If you think of it that way, it's kind of okay. So if you put this on, so if you turn around and say, okay, we're gonna pay your players, okay, that's fine. But if you're gonna pay players, we need to have gym facility. Like Saints are pretty good. Saints provide us with gym facilities, but for the likes of whoever, I'm just using Wakefield for an example. That is just an example. But for example, Wakefield, a young side, if you turn around to them players and say, right, okay, you're going to get £50 per match, you're going to get free access to a gym, you're going to get free access to a 3G on a Wednesday night if you want to come extras, and then them girls go, oh, right, okay, we're serious here. Like, I think people might then take us serious as a sport, because I just feel like if there's not going to be something in 5 years' time, you're going to lose people from the game. Because I don't feel there's anything there for people to actually be like, okay, I'm going to work towards that. And I think when you watch rugby union, we lose too many good players to rugby union because they think, well, why would I play rugby league if I can go to rugby union? It's the same ball, the same post. You know what I mean?
It becomes a quite committed hobby then, doesn't it?
Yeah, and I think because you commit so much time to it. So like we train on a Tuesday and a Thursday, we play on a Sunday. Then on a Saturday night you can't. Obviously we take it all serious. Obviously at Saints we are serious about the game, but
no Zambucas on a Saturday.
Well, but that's the thing, isn't it? Like you can't on a Saturday night. You can't say to your mates, "Come on, we'll go out for a drink." You can't go for holidays in the summer holidays because you've got games.
Season,
and you've got to go out a season, and I think
give up so much.
You do, and
give up a lot.
You give up a lot, and you can't do things that you want to do because you're playing or you're training, and like you can't. I know it's dead selfish of me, but I couldn't have my birthday on my birthday because I had training. Do you know what I mean? So I had to have it on the Wednesday, which I'm not bothered about. It doesn't bother me because I love playing and I love training.
But it was your 21st.
Well, I know. Well, no, it was my 22nd actually.
Oh, was it? Are you 22 now?
Yeah.
Oh,
I was going to correct you before, but I wasn't going to.
Yeah. And a man should never really talk about a lady's age, to be fair.
No, Keith said he was 40 as well. I was going to correct him, but...
I went out with the girls for my 22nd, I had my 21st in lockdown and stuff, but it's just, you give it up because you love it. If you didn't love playing, you wouldn't do them type of things, do you know what I mean? And it's just one of those that people don't realise how much time you actually do give up. They just think, all right, you go training for an hour and a half on a Tuesday, you go training for an hour and a half on a Thursday, but in fact you're leaving the house at 8 o'clock in the morning for work, you're finishing for work at 5, half 5, you're going straight to training at 6 o'clock, you're not actually touching home until half 8, 9 o'clock on the same day, and it's just one of those where you love it that much, you're willing to do that, do you know what I mean? And it's just...
And thank you for your commitment and all the teams for doing that, you know.
Yeah.
For the greater good of a sport. Yeah, for the greater good of a sport. But it's paying off because recently you have got international honours. Yeah. Yeah, you've been called up into the Ireland squad. I
have. And so I've got through that through my mum. So my mum's Irish. So it was, I just seen it on Twitter, and it was the Ireland coach is the Wigan assistant coach, John Worley at Wigan. And I thought, oh, go on, I'll have a go at that. Like, might not get in, but it's another training day. I'll be fine. And there was loads of girls that went on round there, came down, and it was a good training session and stuff. And even, people think of Ireland, oh, they're not England. Do you know what I mean? And that seriousness is just kind of like, it's only Ireland, it'll be fine. Like, they don't take it as serious, and they won't do until we actually play. Do you know what I mean? And there's some good girls there.
Are you going to make the world sit up?
Yeah. Yeah, and it's just like it. When I got the phone call off John saying, yeah, you've been selected, I thought, oh, okay, that's fine. I'm in the 50 squad. So we had a 50 squad from here,
Right.
50 squad over in Ireland, and then he cut it down again. So today he cut it down to just a 25 player squad. So some from the UK and some from Ireland. And then we've got a game on the 17th of October down in Colwyn Bay, it is, against Wales, and that'll be the first international fixture for Ireland women, which will be...
Another pioneering moment
I know,
for you.
I know. And
Can we go?
Yeah?
yeah.
Let's go.
Definitely, yeah.
A little weekend away in Ireland,
Yeah.
in Wales, sorry, and it just shows how much the sport's growing. Do you know what I mean? And Ireland getting their own women's team, and it's not... Scotland have got theirs, Wales have got theirs. I think there will be a Four Nations tournament where there's England, Ireland, Scotland and Wales.
That'd be brilliant.
Which it's just, I don't know, it is spine tingling, because you just think from where you started to where it is now, and it's just one of those where you kind of like the game's growing, and that's where we need to. It's the peak of it now. We're at the
Now's
peak.
the time, and the World Cup's coming.
Yeah, the peak is here. Let's rock on. Let's
strike.
Go. Yeah,
let's strike
go.
now. While all the momentum's with it. Let's go for it.
And I mean that when I got a phone call this afternoon. I think it was like 12 o'clock. I get from John. John was like, "I'm just letting you know that you are in the 25 player squad," and I kind of just stopped, and he was like, "Hello," and I was like, "Hi, John. Yeah, I am still here. I promise you." And I was just like,
taking it in.
"Yeah," I was like, I didn't think I'd do it, and because of the talent in there, and we've got some girls from London Broncos and Bedford Tigers, so they're from is it the South down in London? Yes, from the Southern Super League down there, and they're coming up, and you just kind of like, so we've got a Southern Premier side, we've got like us in the Super League, and then you've got Ireland, and then you've got Wales, and it's just like the game.
A mix of talent from all over these regions.
Yeah, it
coming
is.
Together. Well, I'm looking forward to that game already.
Yeah. It'll be a good game, and like Wales are a top side. They played obviously England. I can't remember when they played, but they played at Halliwell Jones
A couple of months ago.
Yeah, and that was a good. I went and watched it. And Wales are a good side. They're a physical and tough side, and like going back to when we said about the heavy defeat, that didn't reflect that score didn't reflect how Wales played, because they were a good side. Do you know what I mean? And that's what we've got to think about when we play Wales on the 17th. Like, don't underestimate them, but likewise, they shouldn't underestimate us, because they're looking into the unknown. So like, we're kind of like under a blanket, if you get me, and in that Wales game, we'll just show what we can do, and there's no pressure on us at the end of the day.
We're the underdogs coming in.
Yeah, we're a brand
quite
new
confident
side.
The squad is strong.
Yeah, 100%, and it's a building block, isn't it? And you're building towards the 2025 World Cup at the end of the day, and this is just one piece of the jigsaw that'll then create one big picture. And I just feel like it's just, I don't know, you just can't find the words to describe how much women's rugby is just on the rise. And then obviously hopefully if I get picked to play in that Ireland and Wales game, then hopefully I'll be able to like just take it all in and take it as it comes, because it's a surreal moment going from played Lancashire, hopefully, well, I would have played England students, but COVID hit, and then obviously now I'm playing at Ireland, which is one of the top level that you can go. You can't go any higher.
International honours is,
well done. Congratulations to you and the rest of the girls who've made the squad. And we definitely look forward to coming and cheering you all along.
Now, before we finish, Dave has prepared some out of context questions or no context questions. So it's just a bit of fun. And there's no right answer, there's no wrong answer, it's just whatever answer you give. Okay. Oh, okay.
This first say the wrong answer when I get a look. You said the wrong thing.
You'll be fine. Right, I'll hand it over to you, Dave.
Right, go on.
So Keith is right. There are no right or wrong answers.
Yeah.
And they're called no context questions.
Okay.
So, Philippa, That's your Sunday name now. 'Cause
It is, isn't it? Yeah, it is. That's my work name, that.
Is it?
Yeah.
Professional name. Hi.
Yeah, it is.
Philippa.
So, Philippa, I'll give you 2 options. You just select one of those options.
Okay.
But there's no context to it.
Right,
So you have to
okay.
figure it out
just the
yourself.
answer.
You just give me one of the options.
Right, go on.
So, yeah, I'm just giving you 2 potential answers.
As soon as you get the first question, you'll get it. You'll
Right,
get
go on.
board.
Go on.
So, the first one, red or blue?
Red.
League leaders or Challenge Cup?
Challenge Cup.
Saints or Thattle Heath?
Saints.
England or GB? Or should that be now Ireland or GB? Well, Ireland wouldn't be under GB, would it?
Northern Ireland would.
Northern Ireland would, yeah. Or Southern Ireland would.
England. Let's go again with that one then.
Okay.
England or Ireland?
That's a tough one. It'd probably have to be Ireland because I am in the Ireland squad.
Okay.
So
Good answer.
yeah,
Good answer.
probably have to be that one.
Forwards or backs?
Or forwards.
Training in the evening or weekends?
Training in the evening.
Training outside or in the gym?
Ooh. Oh, that's a tough one, that one. Training outside.
Outside.
I can just throw one in there on that then. Derek's fitness.
Yeah. Gym.
Oh, Jim.
Or gym. Yeah.
Yeah.
Derek outside or gym?
Derek outside when he's in a good mood.
Strength or speed?
Strength.
Ladies Super League or international?
What would I prefer to play more?
There's no context.
Probably international then.
Grand final or Challenge Cup final?
Oh. Grand final.
Okay, and remember Derek might be watching
I
and
know,
when you
yeah.
answer this next one. A healthy meal or a really greasy burger?
Really greasy burger after a match though. I can have that. I've given an answer, but it's got to be after the match.
So you've added
There
your
was
own
no context.
You've created some.
Yeah.
So the same question, but after a big boozy night out.
What do you mean?
Same question, healthy meal or greasy burger, but after a big heavy night out when you've been on the
greasy
Sambucas.
burger. Oh, a Mackey's.
A Mackey's,
100%.
definitely a greasy burger.
Yeah.
Well, well done. They're your no context questions. Thank you very
Thanks.
much.
Well
better
done.
than what I thought, that one. Yeah, it's all right, that one.
Well,
Could
listen,
have been worse.
yeah, thank you for coming on. It's been a pleasure having you. It's been lovely for you to tell us your journey and your story. Best of luck for the remaining part of the season and
Thank
in
you.
the playoffs. Give our regards to the whole team,
Yeah.
and hopefully, we'll get you back on again. It's been a great pleasure, and thanks. That's it for the Rugby Show this week. Join us again soon for another episode of the Dockhouse Rugby Show.
And that was coming in from